Yo, what is up? It's the Heavyist podcast, weekly worship at the altar of radness. Let's go. We got Jamie with us this week. Jamie is the vocalist of the band Grief Ritual. They are about to release their debut full length on Friday the 31st. It's called Collapse. It's going to be on Church Road Records, and it's hard as fuck. Jamie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for being here. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It's really nice to be here. I've listened to the pod for a long time. So
awesome.
It's amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, yeah, I feel like we've listened to your band for a long time.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Like, you guys have existed for quite a while. I said in your press notes that you've done over 100 shows, which is like, that's a bloody lot of shows. Like, that is proper good effort. So, like, it's really great to see that, like, the full length coming sort of straight after the EP, because I know the EP, how many years ago was that now?
2022, right?
Yeah, I think like 2 years. So it's towards the end of 2022. I think it's 2022.
Yeah, so I feel like the energy that you guys are bringing to this debut is just way above what a normal band is bringing to a debut full length, and I think it's very apparent when you listen to it. It absolutely rules, mate.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been real nice to get it out. So, because we recorded it last year. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. You've been sitting on it that long?
Mm.
Has it been burning a hole in your pocket really bad? Just like, God, I really want people to hear how good this is.
It's like that. It's like we recorded it, and then I think the first single didn't come out until about 4 or 5 months afterwards. So it's been a while.
Patience. You need to have a lot of patience.
Yeah,
I'd just be emailing it to everybody if it was me.
Anonymously.
Yeah, people would be getting like CDRs for Christmas of it and stuff. So yeah, like the band, your structure, you've had a few memberships and stuff as well, right? Like, you've got a bass player now, I believe, which makes me very happy as a bass player who doesn't like it when bands don't have one. Like, what was was there new energy? I mean, obviously, from listening to it, there obviously is new energy, but was that coming from the new members, or where's that kind of new extra level of aggression coming from?
Yeah, I think kind of the band itself in some form has been going for quite a while. Kind of like, we did have a lineup as far back as like 2014.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And then unfortunately, one of the members passed away, so we kind of knocked it on the head. We only played one show. And then a couple of years later, kind of decided that it was time to kind of restart it as like a bit of a fitting tribute, because it had been enough time to kind of deal with what was going on. So we kind of got back together and then wrote 2 demos and played some shows. And then from there, COVID happened. So that kind of put a stop to everything. And then we started afresh after that. Kind of, we our bassist, he went on to bigger and better things in his career. Fair. So we didn't have one for a while. We had a fill-in who's a guy called Jake, who's also the guy who we recorded with. So he's got Jake Murray at Just Noise Audio. He's incredible. So on Spiritual Disease, he played a part in the writing of that.
Okay,
and he's also played a part in the writing of this. He's kind of like our 5th member, as it were, like a bit of a secret.
Nice, yeah. Kind of a ghost writer sort of thing.
Yeah, and he's like really good to bounce ideas off, and he's excellent at what he does. And then we got Dave in as a full-time bassist, and from there we've kind of gone from strength to strength, really. So yeah, we knocked the EP out in about 2 or 3 months with the new lineup, and then with the album, I think we put that together at the end of 2022, and then recorded at the start of 2023. 2024, sorry, I'm getting my years. It's all kind of one.
Loose track,
my brain is not what it used to be. So
no.
2024 we recorded, I think it was May. So since then we've just been sat on it, and obviously we were lucky enough to get Church Road involved, who are just incredible, and they're lovely people as well, which makes it all the better. And the album comes out this Friday, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, everyone should be.
Yeah, must be a really exciting time, like, as an artist, finally having that first debut. Have you been just like treating yourself all week, special dinners?
We might have a special dinner tomorrow and the night after, maybe. I've been lean this week, so I'm just trying to get myself up to it.
Getting up every morning like a kid before Christmas, like 3 more sleeps.
Open a floor present the day before.
Yeah, the album is absolutely awesome, man. It is so hard. One of the things that like struck me that I really enjoy about the record is like how the tone of it is so heavy. It's so crushingly brilliant, and I feel like a lot of bands that play in the same sort of ballpark as you do would like instantly hit the HM2 button and like we'd know how it would sound. But I feel like you kind of aired away from that and you come away with a bit more of a unique sound, like more like of a sort of like acacia strain lineage than like your standard like HM2 buzzsaw thing that we absolutely bloody love it. Yeah. But I think having a more distinct sound is really interesting.
I haven't got a problem with HM2 pedals. All my best friends have got HM2 pedals. Yeah, all right, son.
But like what was the sort of discussions and I know like a lot of time when you go in the studio you bring in a few records to the people that you're recording with to be like these are the sort of tonal touch points we want to look at. What were the sort of inspirations for the sound?
Yeah, kind of with ourselves, like obviously we're one guitar on the record. It's two, because we had the luxury of having Jake involved as well. And as the band's like progressed, like we've always kind of wanted to get to this kind of sound, but due to like limitations and just having different guitarists and stuff, we've never been able to kind of get anything consistently until the last kind of like 2 years. Yeah. So it's been really like building up on that, and like the last kind of. I'd say the last year we've kind of nailed our sound as a whole, like not just the guitar, getting Dave involved on the bass as well. Like he's from a death metal, black metal background.
I was gonna say there's obviously a lot more of that coming through like, on this record. Yeah,
helped us and joined and kind of progressed kind of bits of black metal that we had and death metal before, but because we've got so much low end with him, it's allowed us to be more expansive of what's above. So there is a bit of HM2 in there, but like tonally, we're kind of into. Obviously, Nails is like the HM2 band, and so is Entombed, which we both like. But kind of also like I Am and Justice for the Damned, Left Behind, and bands like that.
Oh, yes, you just named
student of the Heavyist. That's what I want to hear.
And also Orthodox, which is like a band we really dig. So.
Dude, yeah. Am I right in thinking it's a no studio Jay Clayton job? Is that right?
No, that was the EP.
Oh, my bad.
We love working with Jay, and he's incredible as well. But we went with Jake this time. He's got Just Noise Audio, so it's a similar name.
Yeah, he already said that, Carrie. You were listening.
That happened, didn't it? Yeah, sorry, my bad.
It's like where we kind of wrote most of it is where we recorded, so it kind of felt like the natural thing to do that because it's just so much easier. And we took our time over it. Where sometimes going into a studio, obviously you've only got like a limited amount of time. Where with this kind of, although we kind of set ourselves a target and kind of, I think probably we did it in about 7 or 8 days across a couple of weekends and some weekdays. Like obviously being in a studio, sometimes you've just got a weekend. So I think having that extra time really helped us kind of, and also we did a lot of pre-production as well, where we were kind of really trying to drilling down into that sound. So I'm glad it's like come across and people enjoying it.
It does sound like you've really, you've taken your time and you've dialed in what it's supposed to be before. Yeah, absolutely. And that really does come through, that extra work and that extra sort of level of diligence in what you do. It definitely comes through for sure.
So as well as like tonally, the vocal attack on this record is so awesome. Obviously your sort of mainstay has always been this really awesome low bellow, but these highs that have come in on this thing, man, they are so cool. It's really awesome. Like there's with a lot of bands that's playing a similar ballpark, almost like with the HM2, like there's not often that sort of variation. I think like what you've sort of managed to put together here is such a brilliant, just a really cool sort of call and response almost between the low and the high. It's fantastic. Like you sound brilliant with the highs. I feel like that wasn't really a part of the sound previously, right?
Yeah, kind of some of the like highs are Dave, because we've got Dave on some backing vocals as well. But majority of the record is kind of me, and obviously we've got Harry Knott from Burner on Bile and Rachel Ast from Cage Fight, who did some incredible gutturals and stuff on Recursion. For me, like I've always just wanted to push myself further, and this is the first time like I've recorded where I've had the opportunity to kind of think about more what I'm doing rather than just writing lyrics and kind of getting out some frustrations. Where this one, I kind of looked at it as like it sounds going to sound really wanky, but like a black matte pop record in a way. So I wanted to make it a little bit more kind of interesting and not necessarily accessible, but rather than just being like these blank slabs of like bleakness, like I wanted them to have a bit more rhythm to them, and because of the music as well, which I think the guys have really stepped up in kind of their writing, and there's a lot more to play off, which like just aided me so much. So and like the vocals that I did, we did them in one day in like one 14-hour session, which was horrendous because I couldn't walk the next day, but at the same time having that vocal consistency was just incredible, and having the opportunity to do it in like one day was just I really enjoyed it, because it just I guess I'm just a bit nuts like that sadist kind of.
That's so interesting, because my next question was going to be like, did you do like low day and then high day to get like, you know, do like different warm-ups and get it all there, and did you sort of record them together, or like how did you
kind of just went through song by song, like
right
I can't remember the order we did now, because I definitely had some
That's
which
amazing.
were like easy. I think I started with Swine because it's so short and it's just like that's kind of quite high, but for myself I've always found highs much easier. Kind of in like terrible bands that I did in the past, I was much more high, kind of like Blood Brothers type vocals, because I was really into kind of scrams and like Click Akawi and kind of those kind of bands. And then since joining Grief Ritual, I've just wanted to go lower and lower, so that's what I've been myself to do. Fortunately, like,
and they're all just like, leave that at home.
You're
not going to need that in this band.
It's just kind of like come to the fore, and it's so I'm really enjoying doing it.
It comes through.
Excellent.
And then of course, like lyrically and conceptually, like it's pretty miserable. Like let's not beat around the bush. It's pretty miserable. But did you find that like really cathartic to just kind of put all of that down on paper or on wax, as they say?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of with the EP we had before, that was about kind of Tory austerity for the 15 odd years we had.
Yeah.
And with the full length, one of the first things I kind of said was that I wanted to kind of open up our world a bit more. So talking about some more issues that are kind of more relevant and that appeal to not just myself, but are going to kind of resonate with more people. So like it is kind of about a wider worldview of like anti-capitalism, anti-fascist, which I kind of wrote most of those lyrics would have been last Christmas. So just before we kind of went to go doing the vocal demos and the pre-production stuff. So
yeah,
it's a shame that a lot of it still resonates now.
I think things might have got a little bit better since then.
Yeah,
unfortunately. We laugh because it's how we survive when we're in England, isn't it?
Yeah. I hope people will receive it as kind of like a cathartic thing where you get to know the words and kind of get up on stage and get the mic and just scream, because that's kind of the way I look at it. I try and kind of channel all the frustration I feel at the world into the music, which I think it does come across like that. But I'm lucky and really fortunate that I've got a kind of group of people working with me who are kind of happy for me to do that as well. So I've got quite good free reign where I'm not being like told I can't talk about anything, which is really nice.
That's really great. You know, that's maybe the silver lining to the world being an absolute shithole sometimes is that we do get brilliant, beautiful, brutal music that it gives a cathartic release. The economy's not great. Heinz ketchup costs about 75 quid. But, you know, the Grief Ritual album slaps.
Yeah, things got better. I don't know what to write about, so I have to go back to being like a sad boy and writing some emo stuff again. So.
Yeah. There is also, I mean, there's a very distinct Britishness to the way the whole thing sounds. Not just like, obviously there's some sort of sections of spoken word and your accent comes through really clearly and there's no like American affectations thrown in there. But the whole record has this sort of grey cloud kind of over it. It just feels like home. Like, was that consciously done, or is that just naturally how it's all come together?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of, we recorded it in like Warsaw and Birmingham, so they can be pretty grey places. Like some of the videos we did in Clevedon, which is like just on the road from us in Bristol, because we're kind of like in between Bristol and Birmingham in Cheltenham.
Oh, okay,
it's just, here, Cheltenham's kind of a bit posh and kind of a bit well-to-do because there's like the horse racing and stuff here. But most of us are kind of from like the backgrounds where we're not a part of that at all.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like British working class, I'd say we're kind of like that type of thing, which I think comes across in the record. We're just trying to be ourselves and be authentic with that rather than like pretending to be an American band which like
it really
do
like
that, and it sounds great, but we're just not about that because it's not what we are. So
no, I think it's, you know how everyone always is like, oh, Imperial Triumphant, they sound like New York. It's just like so that sounds like the Midlands. Like,
I don't think Cheltenham's in the Midlands, is it?
Birmingham.
Cheltenham's not in the Midlands. Oh, you all right? If it was recorded in Birmingham,
it's like West Midlands.
I was only speaking up because I went to Cheltenham for the first time last week. I had to go there for a client.
How did you find that?
It was all right. It's a properly posh hotel that's like in the like city centre or whatever. So it was very nice. Very nice, very posh, and pretty cool. That's got nothing to do with this. Yeah, I was just trying to trip Gary up because I only really have speckles of geographic knowledge, and I just really wanted to undermine him there for him calling it the Midlands because nobody says like duck and stuff like that in Cheltenham.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm from Derby originally, so like I'm well versed with duck and stuff.
I lived there for a little bit when I was a kid, Derby.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, someone's got to, I guess.
No, I do love it also.
Yeah. So it's really apparent that you guys have played a lot of shows with a lot of sick bands. You've got a real sort of experience under your belt when it comes to putting out a debut album. Like the songs, they really do feel like leagues above most debuts. Like there's not just a bunch of riffs stitched together. It's real songs with real moments and movements and like real like well structured eruptions. How much of like the songwriting was sort of what's the sort of approach to it usually? Is it like iterative? Do you like get in a room, jam it out, or like what's the process for you guys?
It's kind of a bit of a mix, really. Kind of with this record, it was definitely more of a sense of we kind of looked at everything we'd done before, looked at kind of the set we were playing, and it was about kind of really trying to figure out how to kind of get things across that we'd not done before and expand on the bits we really liked. So like we all want to be in like a really heavy band. That's like one of the things we've always wanted to do. So we've just been trying to kind of push that as far as possible without kind of becoming something that's like really bait. And I love a lot of stuff where it's like super heavy and it's like all on tracks and stuff like that and all to click, and that's great and it's got its place. But for us, it's more like about, I guess, more of an organic sound.
Yeah.
So kind of the way we work a lot of the time is maybe Chris will have a riff or Jake might have a riff. Even Dave's got involved, our bassist, with writing. Like he kind of put together Fault, which is like one of my favourite songs on the album.
That's a proper D beat juggernaut, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely from his wheelhouse of what he's into. And that even Brody kind of gets involved, our drummer. Like he's like quite anal about stuff in terms of like placement and his drums, and but with that, it's really good to him to have that eye where he'll properly look at stuff and re-listen to stuff and think, this can be better, that can be better. And like I'm kind of the same as well, where I have an idea and I'll kind of try and get that across to the guys. And yeah, we're just really fortunate in a way that there's like 5 of us where we're able to bounce ideas off each other, and then usually we kind of come up with some stuff and then we'll look at it and then we'll sit in it for a bit, and eventually we'll either move on with that or we'll ditch it. So I think in the end we kind of wrote about 16, 17 songs.
Wow.
But we kind of, a lot of those kind of fell by the wayside pretty early because it's kind of quite easy to see what was good and what wasn't. And some of them were kind of like songs where you'd look at it and it was just like a riff stitched to another riff, and it's just like you can't go on from that in a way because it's just, some songs are just what they are. Like with Bile, I think we wrote that in like an afternoon, and sometimes they're the best songs really, where you're not really having to work on them, they just come out and flow freely. So
sometimes the song writes you.
Yeah, but it's nice to have that kind of mix of stuff going on really.
On top of that, though, there is also like an industrial element that's kind of been brought in on a few of the tracks. Where's that coming from? Is that just you like, oh, I've bought a synth and I'm really into doing all this like industrial like dread type stuff? What's going on there?
So it's something like I've always wanted to have in the band, and I used to do a lot of drone doom stuff on my own.
Oh, okay.
So I've done some kind of shows like that myself, but a lot of the stuff on the record is things that myself, Brody, our drummer, and Jake wrote when we were kind of looking to add that sound in. So it's, like I say, it's something we've always looked to explore. We've never really had the opportunity or the right kind of songs, where with the newer material, it's definitely from the start we were kind of like, I want to get this in there because I think it will really help enhance what we're doing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Kind of, we're looking at it as it's just kind of, like another facet and another string to our bow. So there'll be some, like live, there'll be a lot of that going on, which is, I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Cool.
And I'm really happy that the way it's come out across in the album, because it's kind of, to me, it kind of feels like a bit retro future, where it's like 80s kind of Terminator or esque kind of electro, and like the kind of thing you'd see on like B-movie horrors from like the late 80s.
You know what's funny is like the other day I listened to your album and then I watched like Matt Honeycutt's YouTube channel. He's talking about RoboCop, and I kind of like, I absolutely made that connection myself after doing that. I think I could see why it didn't make so much sense when you were kind of coming from more of a beatdowny kind of approach, and now you got all this extra like Black and Death, and I can see why it would make sense to throw these extra layers of, the Supans method, the extra dread. Like,
that's definitely a big influence. I'd say the longer the note is, and also the same again but slower is like one of the things we really love as well.
Oh,
so
yes.
Like...
There's some really great moments of that on the record where you just absolutely dirge out. I love that.
The artwork is awesome. It's I love how it carries on through into your videos as well. This like red theme, and like especially in the one where you're all a bit more outside and it's really nice. It looks a bit Eggsy. That one, I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, I should have written it down. I really like how you utilize it when it sort of the parts get extra heavy and then it sort of flashes into red, and it's really, really cohesive. It must have been really cool just like sort of exploring the different colors that you want to use, and then like sort of rolling it out to, obviously like the singles have all got different covers. Like whole process must have been really, really fun. Sort of like, how much sort of did you have to do with that?
Yeah, so actually I kind of designed all those myself.
Oh, sick.
Nice, and kind of the guys have been really, like I say, kind of really good to me, in that they've let me kind of run with it. So it's kind of the way we work always is it's the consensus. So if people like stuff, we'll go with it. And initially it was kind of going to be like a slightly different blue to kind of what we had previously. And then one day I was like kind of looking at stuff and I just thought this wasn't quite clicking. So I put together I started from scratch essentially, and just then went with it, and I've kind of made all the artwork in about a week, which was really nice. It just all came and flowed quite nicely. And then from then we kind of decided that was going to be the theme, and conceptually we felt it worked quite well. And we found some really good videographers, Ben and Chris. Like Ben's in a band called Vicarage, I think you've spoken about on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, awesome.
Yes,
they're both absolutely incredible at what they do, and kind of I wrote some little treatments and things, and they expanded on those, and we're really fortunate that we've got the videos that have come out so far, and there's another one to come as well, which is nice. My favorite of the lot.
Cool.
And that's a bit different again, but it's certainly something that like I really enjoyed making it. And I kind of made a huge backdrop out of wires and stuff, which you'll see when that video drops. And it's really cool because I've kind of got a bit of an artistic background, but it's very much been lapsed until I've been in this band again. So it's really good to create, which is something I really enjoy. So
that's really cool.
What's some of your like favorite lyrics that you managed to get into the record? Like, what are some of the hardest moments that that meant a bit to you?
Like I really enjoy. I think it's on either Putrefy or Calcify. It's like, and it's got Human Apocalypse. There's like a break pre-breakdown.
I was going to say that. There's some great notes of that, and They Are Evil Incarnate. That's another one of my favourites. Like,
I really like that one myself. They're the ones that are kind of, I think, consumed, and the kind of last 3 on the album were the ones that, last 2 on the album were the ones that I recorded last. So like they're definitely me, kind of not necessarily, but like kind of reaching in myself to kind of find this extra energy at like 2 a.m. to get them down, where I'm just like, I've got to nail these as quickly as possible, otherwise I'm going to die. And I think they're just getting that extra frustration out, and like I'm really proud of the lyrics I've written for this, like myself, because I think it's some of my best work, especially Marrow. Like I really like Marrow because that's about kind of anti-fascism and also like anti-misogyny. Like women get a horrible thing, or sorry, not a horrible thing, like the way women are treated in the world is just disgusting. And I think that's something that needs to be explored a lot more by bands that are mostly made of cis men.
Yeah.
And because especially kind of when I first got into music, it was very much in like MySpace core days, especially heavier days of music. And there's a lot of people and bands that
even worse.
Definitely not be around before. And like, I think it's really important to kind of address those things and kind of speak about the issues we do speak about.
Yeah, and just creating music so brilliant allows people access to those messages. Like when it's all message and there's no riffs, you get a bit, but like you've struck this amazing balance where it's it's potent in sort of musically and thematically. So that's really an accomplishment.
Thanks. Yeah, like we try to kind of, although there's a lot going on, we kind of try to pare stuff back a bit, where it's trying to really hit. So every beat down hits hardest, like every sub drop's there that's going to hit at the right time. So we're kind of like I think you touched on before, we really thought it out and what we were going to do, and I think that's come across on the record. So we're really pleased with it.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, you absolutely should be. I was trying to think of a band to sort of compare you guys against, and I reckon we can say like Grief Ritual is the UK's Jesus Piece. Do you reckon that? Can we get behind that? I reckon that's it.
I do love Jesus Piece. They were definitely in the mix of stuff when we were writing. When we're big like Will Putney fans as well, everything that he's involved with, we were really fortunate that we got the chance to play with them. And in Manchester, like I think it was the start of last year, and like seeing End live was just crazy because their record perfect on live, and it's just
They're
like
insane, aren't they?
Oh wow.
Yeah, we saw him once and it was amazing. I was incredibly inebriated and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I was driving, so I was not. So I remember it all very clearly, and it was incredible. He's right.
So the record comes out this week. It's a super exciting week. What does the 2025 look like for you in terms of shows, festivals, things like
200th show? You going to hit that this year?
Probably not this year. It would be nice. We'd be super busy if we do.
That'd be quite a lot of shows.
We might get to, I think we might get to 150 if we're lucky.
Oh,
and we've got some stuff like planned in, which will be, some of it's being revealed on Friday, which will be really nice.
Cool.
We've got a good little like a good run that's going to be announced on Friday. All going well. A couple of festivals as well, hopefully. Like we've got 2000 Trees, which is one of my favourite festivals.
Yeah,
and
it's
awesome.
It's a really good lineup this year as well, isn't there? Like,
it's so good. Like
one of the days, and
James and all the bookers do an incredible job, like of that and Arctangent. So it is one of our favourite festivals, and it's 10 minutes from my house, which is even better. So
absolute dream. Oh my god,
it's really good.
Go to a festival and go to sleep in your own bed. Oh my days, that sounds incredible.
There's a chance we might go to 2000 Trees this year if I can do it. Jolene, my partner, she's Irish and she's on a real kneecap kick right now, and she's well stoked. She's absolutely stoked on the old, and even I want to get the Brits out. I'm all about getting the Brits out right now, even from my own home for some reason. When it's that good, you can't ignore it. I just watched Say Nothing as well, so there was a real. I got her an IRA themed Christmas card that was great.
Nice.
But yeah, so I've never actually been to 2000 Trees, and yeah, so there's a chance we might go this year if we can figure out the child care. That's the word. Thank you, Gary.
No worries.
Yeah, it's
I'm not volunteering, just in case you thought that was me volunteering.
That was
boost and some headphones.
Yeah, bring it along.
That is true. That is an option, isn't it? People do that.
Quite child friendly. That's one of the festivals. One of the things you like. It's a lovely place. Trees. It's got a really nice vibe. There's a good mix of people, but a lot of people do bring their children along. So I guess it depends on kind of what kind of weekend you want. Like,
not that kind. I don't think.
Yeah.
No, it's sunny.
Yeah. No, we'll see. I might be able to do it. That'd be great. Get him some proper like JCB ear defenders.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think I've asked all my questions, Gary. Is there any burning questions from you that have remained?
The only thing I was gonna ask about was, so there's definitely quite a sizable deathcore element to the record. How do you feel about that? As a deathcore is one of those things, it's kind of a dirty word, I think. It's a bit of a like loaded term. How do you feel about being considered having a bit of a deathcore sound?
Yeah, it's not something that we've intentionally done, I wouldn't say, but like a bit of kind of early Suicide Silence is definitely in the mix of stuff, like when we were looking at some of the production things. So I could probably see where it's come from.
Yeah.
And like, I can't remember what song it is now, but there's a Suicide Silence video, which is one of the ones that I put forward as like a reference as well for some of our like close-up shots of like the drums and stuff. So like, I've never really got into deathcore apart from kind of them maybe and a bit of like some Parkway Drive type stuff, and like, but our drummer really likes that kind of thing in a way. So maybe it comes across through that.
Yeah, that could be where it's coming through in the sort of the drumming, the kind of that sort of really tight, precise style. That I was just interested because
Brody hits really hard, so that's like perfect for us, and I think that's all you need. If you've got a drummer who can keep time and hit hard, then you're halfway there.
That's the secret. The secret to success. Yeah. Find a good drummer, although that's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, that was our problem with the bassist. We just couldn't find one for like a year. And then one day Dave popped into our inbox and here we are.
Amazing. Yeah. No, that's kind of, in terms of the album, like, I think we've covered everything we wanted to chat about, and just make sure everyone goes out there and bloody listens to it, because it's going to rip your face off in a good way.
Yeah. But before you go, what is there any stuff coming out this year that you're really stoked on? What are the sort of releases that are hyping you up?
I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing another Drain record, which I've been hearing rumors about.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, I was really into the Terminal Nation album from last year, so if they've got anything coming out, I'd be quite interested in that. Like, our drummer's a big Cradle of Filth fan. So he's been kind of enjoying the singles, and I'd not listened to it until the other day, and he showed me that, and I'm kind of interested in checking that out now as well. So,
I haven't seen him when we saw him in November. That hasn't really piqued my interest, if I'm honest.
The production quality on the new singles is incredible.
I think that would definitely help, because the stuff that I've listened to doesn't have the best production quality in the world. I think maybe just it being a bit more sort of shiny and polished might help. I want to hear this song that he's apparently done with Ed Sheeran and Danny Filth. Because they both live in Suffolk, don't they? They're both like, I think they're neighbours. They like live on the same street or something, and they're mates. And apparently they've done some sort of collaboration together. I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
I hope it's like really soft and kind of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I really hope it's Danny Filth guessing on an Ed Sheeran song, rather than like when Ed Sheeran did that thing with Bring the Horizon, was just cringe. Like, I want to see. I think that'd be really funny to hear like acoustic Danny Filth.
That'd be great. There's
maybe doing a bit of beatboxing or something.
Yeah, get him on like a tube kind of drum thing.
Yeah, get him on the drum loop doing his weird like noise. Yeah. I can't even do it, but you know what I mean. The like pterodactyl scream.
Yeah, that'd be so good. Just imagine the video, just like them two, maybe just in a greasy spoon, or like down the pub having a pint, playing a game of pool or something.
The Ipswich match, just like.
Well, they could come out at half time and like do a rendition or something.
Oh my god.
That'd be so sick.
Maybe. I really hope that happens. The vision that you just put in my mind is amazing, and I really hope that comes to life.
We have to write to them both and try and get it like a consensus thing.
Start a campaign.
Enough people want it.
Start a campaign. Come to the Ipswich Supporters Club and see if we can get them to help us make a petition or something. Sorry, the end of this interview has really gone sideways. I apologise.
That's nice. Nice little light-hearted finish. Yeah, this has been lovely, Jamie. Thank you very much for your time. We absolutely love your record, and I can't wait for everybody else to get bloody stuck well into it. Yeah, I think that's the end. We, if this is your first time having a look at the Heavyist, we really appreciate you having a look at us. We do weekly videos talking about new music, sometimes we talk to people, sometimes me and Gary just talk to each other about riffs. It's quite circle jerky, but it's quite nice too. If you could want to give us a little sub, maybe write a comment, or you could pop down to our Discord, which is a very, very lovely place on the internet to exist. It's just beautiful, lovely people sharing fantastic music all bloody day long. It's great. So come on down. Got to get better at that. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.